Hi everyone. Written by the Mahavishnu Orchestra's guitarist John McLaughlin, Birds of Fire is an instrumental track which can be divided into the following sections. Throughout Birds of Fire, the main time signature is 18/8, with the only exceptions to this occurring during the interludes where a single bar of 13/8 is included. The intro guitar riff is used as an ostinato through most of the tune, and it rhythmically divides the time signature into three groups of 5/8 notes and one group of three. This eighth note division, however, is counteracted by the violin and bass riff, which divides the 18/8 notes of the main riff into two sections, one consisting of 8/8 notes and the other 10/8 notes. These sections can be further subdivided into subsections consisting of 2, 3, and 4 eighth note groups. The intro guitar riff uses the same chord shape moved between the 4th and 6th frets. Analysing these shapes individually, taking their lowest notes as their root notes, would produce the following altered chords. While these chord labels may explain the relationship of the chord notes to the low G sharp and A sharp, they don't explain the relationship of these notes and chords to the melodic material which follows. To understand this connection, we need to hear the repeated open high E string as a pedal which centers the tune around E. The B note is similarly repeated. These pedals are reinforced by E played on the low E string at the end of each bar. Rather than deriving as chords, scales, and melodic material from a single E-based key, such as E major or E minor, however, McLaughlin chooses E as a tonal center and colors this using a variety of scales and modes sharing this common note. This is one aspect of the technique known as pitch axis, whereby melodic material and chords are organized around a central pitch. The chords now heard with E as their root notes may be labeled as follows. When viewed collectively, hearing E as the tonal center, the notes found in the 2-bar intro guitar ostinato are derived from the E Mixolydian flat 6 mode, the 5th mode of the A melodic minor scale. The only note not included in E Mixolydian flat 6 is the A sharp in the 2nd bar, which can be heard enharmonically as the flattened 5th of the E dominant 7th chord. It can also be heard as a blue note included in the E blues scale, which is used later in the tune. By simply moving an E dominant 7th shape up by major seconds while retaining the upper B and E notes as open strings, McLaughlin is able to create extensions to the basic E dominant 7th chord. At 42 seconds, the violin and bass riff adds 2 more notes to the intro guitar riff's note pool. Here, the addition of a D sharp creates the E harmonic major scale, and here the addition of E sharp creates a flat 9th sound. The tune's main riff begins at 1 minute and 5 seconds and uses notes which are almost exclusively derived from the E minor pentatonic scale. The only exception is the G sharp in the first bar, which sounds the third of the underlying E dominant 7th chords, while the G natural sounds the sharp 9th. The guitar solo, beginning at 1 minute and 26 seconds, uses notes derived almost exclusively from the E natural minor scale. McLaughlin, however, typically plays the notes of E minor not as part of a 7-note minor scale, but as 3 minor pentatonic scales, the root notes of which begin on the root, 4th, and 5th degrees of E minor. Utilizing these pentatonic scales in this way reflects the 5-note groupings of the guitar ostinato and violin and bass riff, and allows McLaughlin to easily solo using these rhythmic groupings. Beginning at 1 minute and 32 seconds, for example, McLaughlin plays 5-note groups which are taken respectively from these 3 minor pentatonic scales. In the final bar of this example is the first of many minor third bends which McLaughlin uses in his solo. Often, as here, the bend is up to the note C or to B flat. B flat is generally introduced either as part of a bend or as part of a phrase using the E blues scale, such as here, beginning at 1 minute and 41 seconds, and here at 1 minute and 56 seconds. By specifically targeting the notes C and B flat, McLaughlin connects his solo to the notes of the underlying 2-bar guitar ostinato. The C note connects with the flat 6 of the Mixolydian flat 6, the E harmonic major scale, and the flat 13th of the E9 flat 13 chord, while the B flat enharmonically connects to the A sharp of the ostinato's second chord. The main riff returns after the guitar solo at 2 minutes and 18 seconds and includes some variations, notably the triplet run beginning at 2 minutes and 46. The final 2 quarter note beats of this run include notes derived from the following Lydian dominant pentatonic scale. The triplet run leads into the interlude beginning at 2 minutes and 48 seconds, the chords of which are again dominant sevenths. Just as the intro guitar riff's chords are inversions of an E dominant 7th chord with open B and E strings, the interlude's chords can be heard as inversions of the final B dominant 7th chord with C in the bass. The B dominant 7th chord can also be heard as the dominant of E. Throughout the interlude, the note C is avoided in McLaughlin's melody and is only introduced briefly as a bent note over this harmony. The exclusion of C from the melody allows the interlude to be coloured with different E-based scales and modes. Over the interlude's first 2 B chords, for example, the melody uses notes of the E harmonic minor scale, while over this chord the notes outline E harmonic major. After the interlude, the violin and bass riff returns and leads to the synthesizer solo beginning at 3 minutes and 12 seconds. The main riff with variations then returns at 4 minutes and 10 and leads to the interlude, which is again followed by the violin and bass riff to conclude the tune. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.